Yeah, and so this is also again a very, very tense set, just overall, because a win here obviously would be fantastic. You'll be in those top eights of like going 0 and or excuse me 2 wins and 0 losses. But whoever loses this set will have to play Ellie in the next round, and Ellie is another very well-versed Season 2 player that could make some magic happen. But speaking of magic, we've got clutch clears already from round 1 Fortissim.
Yeah, Fort bursting
get
super heavy. Playing a lot faster than a couple of previous rounds. And it's allowed him to find a couple of downstacks here.
Yeah, this is honestly not a bad start from Fort. Turtle actually goes a little bit early on the surge. And this is a beautiful board right now for Fort to work with. Has just nothing but runway to build this surge.
26
that spike, but
surge break. So much clean in column 4. Ooh. Turtle
and
with
that's
a 363 and yeah.
Yeah, I think the fact that I understand Fort I think was hoping that spike was going to be enough, and even with that being clean, Turtle nearly topped out from all of that. But because of all of it being clean, as the larger surges will tend to send clean over time, just it's truly the return to sender moment. Like everything just all the way back on Fort's board. And unfortunately at that point, there's not a lot more you can do with another 1 attack per piece round from Turtle, grabbing 2 very quick ones. All right, early T to start. Turtle going for DT Cannon as Fort goes for MKO. We are truly in one of the timelines of all time. Oh my god, into a floating T-spin double. Turtle is just having a field day right now with some of these setups.
Nice.
Needs to be a little bit careful, Fort.
Can Turtle keep back-to-back here? Yes, actually, really nice solves there. Breaks it into 25 and...
Oh, that causes a break from Fort.
Fort covered up the well. Needs to dig down to it and able to do so. That was a bit
Fort
scary, but...
sacrifice the T-piece.
Yeah, that's extra floating there. I think, was that a Kaidan? It was a bit too greedy and ended up costing him around.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, the center well setup of the Kaidan essentially. And Fort waiting that out a little bit, trying to counter a bit more. And there's the reliable STSD follow-up, finds the all clear. And in fact, depending on the P sequences, might have had another one, but this is just still back-to-back getting built up incredibly fast. Turtle having to rely on the 5 pieces per second down stack just to survive all of it. Fort not able to close the round out. Turtle, with the counter spike, is going to send a lot of that back to Fortissim.
Turtle reading quite hard here for some more back-to-back and actually just completely bursting and able to get away with it just with this speed. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, that's
a defensive surge here from defensive surge here from Fort. Both players trying to be a little bit concerted on when they are accepting and receiving this garbage. Fort not able to get a multiplier off that setup, but will find a T-spin triple opportunity. Nearly making a little bit of a misplay with some of these piece placements. And as soon as that well gets covered, Turtle breaking a smaller surge. Gonna be nothing but cheese going to Fortissim's board, and there is no way out.
Yeah, kind of a quick lead out here from Turtle here. Already 4 up.
Perfect. All right, and Turtle, there's the TD spike, and Fort
just not really able to keep up so far.
Yeah, this is a little bit interesting to see out of Fort, a player that doesn't really have a lot of bad matchups against even some of the top players on the planet, but for some reason Turtle has found a way to continue to get round after round, and somehow Fort survives, but not for long. So much garbage there from Turtle in such a short time interval. That's going to be 6 straight games for Turtle, and honestly, given how well this has gone for Turtle, this is going to be a very difficult spot for Fort to continue to play from. Oh, all right, able to get the clean well transition. And as I say, that's so much more cheesy garbage back over to Fort's board. Turtle trying to time a lot of these attacks so that Fort is continuously having to downstack through cheese. Behind on surge, but finds an opening. And Turtle's piece sequence, the I and the Z, nothing can pop Surge. Fort now gets on the board. Was going to need a lot more to bring this set close, and it may very well be too little too late. Going to have to keep an eye on if Fort is turning on the Jets and putting that speedometer up to 11, or if Turtle's going to continue this dominant performance to try and win out this round.
Yeah, if you're Fort here, you definitely need to be thinking of some adaptations you can make in order to just not just take rounds, but take entire games.
Oh,
and
that was so well timed from Turtle.
Yeah, Turtle timing definitely one of the strong suits that he has. Fort needs to be careful of just so much when fighting a player like Turtle.
Oh, nice 180 spin there on the follow-up. Fort still able to keep that surge. Gonna break it a little bit early as Turtle able to hold on to it. So Turtle's gonna have a bit more of that offensive threat, but has a couple misdrops of his own. That is going to open
misdrop
Fortissim finding a combo there, kind of like a pseudo 4-wide over that stack. And Fort able to grab had 2 wins out of the last 4 rounds. Things are starting to look a little bit closer, but Fort still has a lot of ground to make up.
And Fort not able to hang on to back-to-back this time in opener. While Turtle has a 6-3 that they're building up, but they misdrop that L piece. Go for it. Turtle going for the counter forward to get a bit more attack out of it. But
yeah, we're seeing a lot of really small surges get sent from both Fort and from Turtle. And again, although it may not be enough to immediately win a round, it will result in a lot of cheese getting sent over to your opponent. So it's starting to become a little bit of like a mini cheese race between Fort and Turtle.
Turtle plays so risky at greeting again.
All right, we're starting to see a little.
Yeah, Fort's been finding a lot of success just by speeding up and increasing his pressure.
And speaking of speeding up, look at that opener blitz. Nearly 5.6 at its peak. And especially from some of these smaller surges, I think, honestly, as much as I want to say it can be a risky decision, I feel like Fort's gotten so much momentum out of these smaller surges, cheesing up Turtle and forcing a lot of quick down stacks has enabled Turtle a lot more chances for misdrops. And Fort right now building up so much surge. Gonna pop it on the defensive end, unfortunately. Turtle finds a way to force that interaction, but the misdrops can go both ways with speed. As Turtle now 8 wins into this first to 11, and things are looking dire. All right, we have reliable TKI into that SDS. Looks like it. And both players, all right, who's patient? Who's patient? All right, Turtle does make the adaptation to go for a different follow-up. And honestly, with the amount of people that decide not to be patient, there's so many people that don't actively look at their next queue to see what's the next best option. I'm so glad that Turtle took all of that time and looked for a different follow-up. And again, it worked in his favor. Able to pick up another round. Is currently sitting at 9 wins. Only needs 2 more. And he could very well book a very nice ticket into the round of top 16.
Oh, things so risky at the top of his board once again.
Yeah, a lot of early surge pops again from Fort and Turtle, but keep in mind the last couple of rounds have gone to Turtle.
Covering up that well with that J piece. Yeah, I mean, Turtle once again greeting for this back-to-back. It's costed a few rounds so far, and it's once again is going to cost another.
I don't know how Fort keeps managing to do this. A lot of these rounds where Fort has won have been like 450 plus versus score, but somehow this just happens to be working out extremely well. Not many players are able to keep up with this amount of pace. But oh my goodness, what a spike from Turtle. 120 attack with barely 90 pieces, well over 600 versus score, with including this follow-up to that 42 spike. And honestly, there is not a better way to solidify how determined you are to win a round than a performance like that. Though there is a little bit of man-made spaghetti right now on Turtle's board. Gonna have to clean that up. And is there, I mean, Turtle has some leeway. Like, there's a couple of rounds Turtle can give and still be okay. That's a lot of clean garbage. Fort able to hold on to Surge for just long enough.
Yeah, Surge Break from Turtle is enough to survive as well. Turtle has been greeting for back-to-back quite a lot this game, but it has let them survive a lot more as well. Back-to-back capable of being used both defensively and offensively. Oh, but
all right,
Fort setting so much pressure here. Turtle, somewhat of a situation change. Turtle now the one forced on the defensive here.
Yeah, Fort's the one that's really put himself in the driver's seat right now. Looking for some T-pieces as Turtle at 35 spike. Fort able to find something there, but Turtle still able to keep back-to-back. Finds a bit of a multiplier, and that's going to trigger some misdrops.
Yeah, I think Fort didn't recognize that piece was not going to clear and ended up dropping the eyepiece right on top of the well.
Oh my goodness, and the fact that this is over a 400 versus score, over 200 APM from both Fort and Turtle, that